You can't look at it any other way that you got cheated on, because he dumped you out of the blue and you were so upset.
Devastated.
Yeah, you're like, why would he do this? And you think,
Okay, grab your popcorn, because the Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker drama just went from nostalgic reunion to full-blown soap opera, and the internet cannot look away. What everyone thought was a sweet second-chance romance is now unraveling into a messy, emotionally charged roller coaster, and it's giving major betrayal vibes. It all started with a cryptic comment online, just one little post that shook fans to their core.
Christy Garrett.
He just wanted you to grow as a person.
How?
He had to let you go
Well,
so you
it's
could
such a
find
liar, too. No
yourself.
wonder they get along
Bullshit.
so well.
He found someone better.
Oh, somebody wasn't in prison.
Someone that didn't look like a troll.
Yeah, someone he didn't have to write prison letter to and pay for phone calls.
Right, you could touch them for longer than, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Someone dropped a bomb claiming that Ken wasn't exactly the loyal, patient fiancé we all thought he was. According to this mysterious internet sleuth, Ken may have already been seeing another woman while he was still engaged to Gypsy. Yep, while she was still locked up and dreaming about their wedding, Ken was allegedly out here building a life with someone else. The comment even claimed that Gypsy had no idea and that Ken never told her the truth. Suddenly, the "we grew apart" explanation he gave years ago, looking real shady now.
So when I got out, I was like, I'm not going to call him anymore. I'm going to focus on my marriage. I can't be distracted. And so I kept that up. Like, I didn't call him. And then I get like a Facebook message.
And this wasn't just some troll comment. It had receipts, well, not literal screenshots, but the kind of specifics that made it feel real. Like someone knew something they weren't supposed to be saying out loud. And when you match the timeline up with what we already know, the pieces start to fall into place a little too perfectly. Ken ghosted Gypsy back in the day with no warning and no closure. One minute they're planning a future together, the next poof, gone. And just like that, he's in a new relationship that magically lasts 5 years. 5 whole years.
I ignore it. I'm like, no, I want to focus on my marriage. Like, keep focused. And so it wasn't until him and my stepmom were communicating casually, and she revealed the real reason why.
Almost like that relationship was already heating up before he dipped out on Gypsy. Suspicious. Yeah. Fans are calling it emotional cheating at best and full-blown betrayal at worst. Think about it, maintaining a prison relationship isn't for the weak. Letters, limited calls, monitored visits. It's like loving someone in a bubble. Meanwhile, Ken was out here living his best life in the free world. It wouldn't take much for him to find comfort in someone new.
In the first place, and it was not what I thought it was. And so it kind of changed my perception of everything.
And maybe in his mind, it wasn't cheating, but if he was already imagining a future with another woman while still making promises to Gypsy, then honey, that's betrayal no matter how you slice it. Now here's where it gets juicy. That mystery woman, the one Ken was allegedly with for 5 years, she supposedly dumped him right around the same time Gypsy got out of prison. Coincidence? Doubt it. And just like that, Ken was back in Gypsy's DMs, calling, texting, showing up like no time had passed.
Yeah, she got rid of you. She got rid of you. But is that the way to treat her? Can't you sit down and talk to your goblin over here? Say enough is enough. Sorry, you're not going to do this to somebody that I spent time.
But where was that energy when she was locked up and alone? Or when she was married to someone else? He didn't pop back into her life until he was single and emotionally stranded. Which begs the question, was it love or just convenience? And Gypsy, she's not exactly brushing it off. Ever since they reconnected, she's been spiraling with jealousy, and it's written all over her. Ken's ex was a tall blonde, and not long after their reunion, Gypsy went blonde too. Coincidence? Not when she literally admitted it was because Ken likes blondes.
You'd be scared to help Rachel off them.
I asked that on Case. I mean, do you think the people, like, her family, and do you think they're a little afraid of her? Like, she could just.
I was joking, but who knows?
No, I'm like, what do they think? Like, I don't know.
That's not self-expression, babe. That's turning yourself into someone else to feel worthy. It's giving identity crisis. But wait, it gets even messier. Gypsy didn't just obsess over her ex's ex. She allegedly went full on mean girl. She reportedly shared this woman's personal info, yes, including her real name and socials, with content creators.
I think Ken's mainly in it for the
Ken,
money.
no, though. She's obsessed with Ken.
Right. Because he's not obsessed with her. She
No,
needs to
not
be
at all.
obsessed with her, but that's why she likes Ryan still around. But
Practically begging them to expose her. She wanted her doxxed. It wasn't a subtle move. It was direct, calculated, and honestly kinda scary. Thankfully, one creator saw through it and shut it down immediately. But the fact that Gypsy even tried, that speaks volumes. What was supposed to be a sweet love conquers all reunion is looking more and more like a desperation-fueled rebound for one and a ticking time bomb of jealousy and unresolved trauma for the other. The whole situation has gone from romantic to radioactive. And now, fans are left wondering, was the fairy tale ever real?
About herself.
I think Ken likes the lifestyle, you know,
yeah.
the cameras, even though he said initially that he didn't want to be on camera or be filmed. But he seemed quite comfortable, and more so than Gypsy at times, so...
But where
Exactly.
he's always working. He's working. Is he?
Or was it just a smoke show to cover up the mess underneath? What happened wasn't just some heat of the moment reaction. It was a calculated move, done with a clear head and a very specific intention. She didn't act out directly. She took a quieter approach. Instead of making herself the target of any fallout, she handed the responsibility to someone else, hoping they'd be the one to set things off. She set the scene, passed the weight, and stepped back to watch it unfold. That's not just subtle, it's manipulative.
And Urker's ex-girlfriend's first and last name, information, and where I could find her on social media. She basically wanted me to put this information out there and dox her. Not the only content creator that she messaged it to. I didn't put that information out there, but I did try to make a TikTok video showing the evidence.
She knew exactly what she was doing, and even if things didn't go according to plan, it doesn't erase her motive. It just shows that the person she involved had more integrity than she expected. But that doesn't undo the outcome. The damage still happened. The woman on the receiving end, let's call her ex, completely disappeared from social media. She wiped every trace of herself online. Facebook, LinkedIn, everything gone. And not because she was guilty of anything, but because Gypsy wouldn't let things be.
Video recorded and taken down. I did, however, make a YT video about it. If you want to see it, you can find it in my bio. I'm assuming that you don't really follow my content or any of the other content creators that talk about her. Otherwise, you'd know this isn't true. That's fine. I don't blame you. There's a lot that the general public doesn't know.
Gypsy still wanted control. She wanted some sense of power, maybe even a bit of revenge. But she didn't want to carry the blame. So she manipulated the situation in a way that someone else would execute her intentions for her. That's what makes it so unsettling. She didn't throw the punch, but she made sure someone else would. And this wasn't an isolated thing. It's a pattern. This kind of indirect aggression, where she steps back and lets others do the dirty work, is something she's done before.
And things that are going on behind the scenes. Because Gypsy doesn't really like to get her hands dirty herself, she has other people do it for her. Though she did just post a video about another content creator, Flawless Nina, who she despises. For the most part, she has other people do things for her. She filed false copyright strikes against my YT.
She doesn't always confront things head on. Sometimes she just plants the seed, whispers something subtle, and watches it grow. The destruction that follows might look like someone else's doing, but the fingerprints always trace back to her. It even showed up in her relationship with Ken. There was a night when he was asleep, and Gypsy went through his phone. That's when she found photos of him with his exes.
Other content creators, and back when she had a PR team, her PR team paid for thousands of bot accounts to spam content creators' videos that were talking about her. Those bots would leave comments telling the content creator that other content creators were...
They weren't just casual shots either. They looked close, affectionate. When she asked him about it, Ken gave her this strange explanation. He claimed it was all for scientific purposes, that he was trying to analyze his emotional responses to his exes and compare them to how he felt about Gypsy. It sounded ridiculous, like a deflection wrapped in fake logic. Maybe she pretended to accept it. Maybe she even wanted to believe it. But her face told a different story, one that didn't need words. You could see her holding something back.
On the live stream, trying to pit content creators against each other. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a convicted unaliver who got out of prison early and has become a reality TV star. She is consumed by what other people say about her on social media. She's mad that people are starting to wake up and point out the inconsistencies in her own story and the things that she has said herself. Period.
That wasn't the end of it. Not long after, she came across a hairbrush, one that clearly belonged to one of Ken's exes. Then she started finding photo cards and memories tucked away, all reminders of the women he was with before her. Meanwhile, she had nothing left from her own past. No photos of Ryan, no keepsakes, nothing. And that contrast hit her in a deeply personal way. It made her feel like she had given up everything for someone who still held on to what came before her. It wasn't just a bad moment, it became a painful realization. She would have walked away from her own marriage without hesitation if it meant choosing Ken.
So,
What?
something should be disregarded in the past.
I don't know why you're creating this scenario that doesn't exist.
But now she wasn't sure if he would have done the same for her. That realization started to bleed into everything. Every time he was distracted, every time he seemed emotionally distant, it made her question not just him, but herself. She began to wonder if she was ever truly enough for him, or just a convenient option after everything else had fallen apart in his life. And that feeling doesn't just go away. It sticks around, shows up in small, unexpected ways. In a quiet moment, in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, look there. What's this?
A soap bottle? Is it empty?
It is.
Was it on the counter?
It was, and it was
Okay.
empty. What is this? Shaving cream.
There's still a little bit left in there.
Or when she catches him looking at his phone just a little too long. The suspicion lingers, and it becomes part of the atmosphere. That's why she kept bringing it up, not because she wanted to fight, but because she couldn't shake the idea that she was a second choice. Even in therapy, the same concerns surfaced again and again. She talked about that brush. She mentioned how much time he spent on his phone. She said she wanted more meaningful time with him. But those weren't shallow complaints. They were signs of something deeper, a rift she couldn't name, but definitely felt. The brush wasn't just an object. It was a trigger.
Oh, and what is this? The hairbrush of an ex-girlfriend
That's actually mine. I used to. That's
with
mine.
blonde hair.
Oh, I mean, maybe someone else used it.
That's what I thought.
Whatever.
A symbol that no matter how far they'd come, the past still had a seat in their present. And Ken's screen time wasn't just about distraction, it was about disconnection. She needed more than his physical presence. She needed emotional investment. She needed proof that he had chosen her fully, and not just in words but in behavior. Because when someone still carries feelings from their past, even without saying it out loud, it changes the energy. It makes every moment feel unsure. Every pause becomes loaded. Every glance feels like it could mean something else. And that kind of insecurity eats away at a relationship. Gypsy wasn't just chasing closure. She was looking for confirmation that the person she had chosen had truly chosen her back.
So when I got out, I was like, I'm not going to call him anymore. I'm going to focus on my marriage. I can't be distracted. And so I kept that up. Like, I didn't call him. And then I get like a Facebook message.
The hardest part is that she never outright says it, but it's there in her eyes, in her voice, in the things she chooses to mention and the ones she doesn't. That fear, that haunting feeling that maybe no matter what she does, he's still thinking about someone else, is something she carries with her every day. It makes trust feel fragile. It makes love feel uncertain. And no matter how much progress they make, it only takes one small reminder of the past to send everything spiraling again.
I ignore it. I'm like, no, I want to focus on my marriage. Like, keep focused. And so it wasn't until him and my stepmom were communicating casually, and she revealed the real reason why he broke up with me in the first place. And it was not what I thought it was. And so it kind of changed my perception of everything.
She opened up about a painful truth. She genuinely believed that while she was sitting in that cell, broken and alone for 5 long years, he had moved on and built a life with someone else. And now, she's expected to just brush that off, to pretend it didn't happen, or worse, that it didn't hurt. When Ken tried to explain it, he claimed other people told him to let her go, that it would be better for her in the long run.
Can't look at it any other way that you got cheated on, because he dumped you out of the blue and you were so upset.
Devastated.
Yeah, you're like, why would he do this? And you think.
But let's be real, what kind of excuse is that? You don't abandon someone you love and call it growth. You don't walk away from someone who's locked up, struggling, and say it was for their benefit. And yet, Gypsy tried to believe him. Maybe she didn't fully buy it.
Christy,
He just wanted you to grow as a person.
How?
He had to let you go.
Well,
So you
it's
could
probably
find
the liars who
yourself.
don't want me to get along
Bullshit.
so well.
He found someone better.
Oh, somebody wasn't in prison.
Someone that didn't look like a troll.
Yeah, someone he didn't have to write prison letter to and pay for phone calls.
Right. You could touch them for longer than, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But she held on to it because sometimes it's easier to swallow a soft lie than to face a harsh truth. But now, with everything that's come to light, the recent accusations and how neatly they align with what she suspected all along, her instincts look more accurate than ever. It wasn't about her growth. He left because there was someone else, plain and simple. And Gypsy's reaction shows just how deep it still cuts. She recently posted a video using a sound about not being jealous, while holding a hairbrush that looked eerily similar to the one Ken's ex owned. That wasn't just a coincidence, it was a message. She's spiraling, and she's not hiding it anymore. It's clear she hasn't truly moved on. She's still stuck in the comparison trap, still trying to figure out if she's measuring up, still questioning whether Ken is with her because he wants her, or just because she was the one who happened to be there when things didn't work out with the last one. This entire situation is messy and painful, and it's far from over. As long as Gypsy keeps dragging Ken's ex into the picture, mentioning her in therapy, scrolling through his phone, or posting these not-so-subtle videos, it's clear she hasn't found peace. She can't seem to let it go, and the real question is whether she ever will. Is she even capable of moving forward when she's so fixated on the past? That's what it all comes down to, not just what Ken did, but what Gypsy is still doing. Healing doesn't happen when you keep reopening the same wound. And right now, what's holding her back isn't Ken or his past. It's her own fears, her insecurities, the constant loop of comparison and doubt she can't escape. So the real question is, can this relationship survive all of this? Or has Gypsy already gone too far down a path of suspicion and obsession to ever really find her way back? Let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.